At long last, they've come home. You don't make that same mistake. You don't make that same mistake. You don't make that 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 mistake. But you're wrong, you know. You're really wrong. You picked right up on it. What do I gotta do to get inside and the outside? Get outside. I don't wanna see it again. One more failure like Jim. Love. Where is love? The love of a vibe. So strong. So long. Separation. Not from him on high. Oh yeah. I'm coming in for a landing. It was just info. It wasn't true. But you snapped it up. You went with it. A lie on it all. A lie of a lie. Oh, ye of little faith. You've been fooled again. You've been fooled again. Greetings in the name of the Most High. Okay, well, how's that peace deal working out? Trump will continue with the peace deal, in my estimation, in the Middle East, and is not daunted by, breaking the ceasefire rule and, or even killing a bunch of people. It's not going to stop him from continuing to search for peace between Russia, Ukraine, Palestinians, and Israel, and the whole bit. He'll continue, and he won't call it a failure. He said if he if he has to take a stronger step, he'll go disarm, Hamas. He'll just disarm them. And he means what he says on the, when a thing's military. And that's really not even, the big story today, but it's just, people keep wondering what the ping pong, we have peace. No, we don't. I told you we didn't have peace. No, you can't say that. You can't say, I told you we wouldn't have peace. He's a loser. Not a loser. His real identity is yet to be revealed. In fact, you and I are still taking part in this ritual that began with Charlie Kirk that they're running on us, and we're still in it. It hasn't concluded yet. You realize that? And I've consulted with, or just listened to Catherine Austin Fitz and other people about how they're reading the obvious ritual. The other thing, I have disappointing news regarding Alex Jones, that he's decided with no real evidence to support Erika Kirk, no matter what, TPUSA, no matter how corrupt it is. And it's corrupt. And he's just I think he's gonna die on that hill, but as far, I need to report this because there's a lot of really good people who are researching, and a lot of really earnest people that are doing research. And when he just with a broad brush says, I saw that tape of that guy that changed his voice. I know acting when I see it. There was no script. The guy wasn't reading. He was just talking. There was no detectable acting. I would know that. And now he's just making stuff up. So it's pretty incredible. And he gets mad. Like a lot of these people get really mad because you see the TPUSA and Trump and Israel and just the world order, whatever, the world order, the world order that they see, kind of like a neocon, New American Century, but it's really, the Make America Great Again has kind of got echoes of that, but it's really the golden age or golden dawn. I see some flags. Golden dawn, I said. Golden dawn. Really? Okay. No, I mean, I just figured I wouldn't have to say more than that. It's funny, the kind of euphemism, Golden Dawn, D-O-N, and Golden Dawn, Aleister Crowley, right? And, what's happened, I believe, has to do with money, a lot of money, more than $150 million, more like billions. And the TPUSA is seen as the strongest, biggest, most potential organization to change to this, to thwart the communists, to thwart the leftists as a political movement that there is. And so I was surprised to hear that they had hundreds of millions of dollars in their coffers. A year ago, I thought this thing just popped up and they just go to campuses, right, and talk to students there and ask for donations. How could they be so powerful as to have private jets? And Alex Jones said on the air, he said that they confronted him at TPUSA, confronted him, said, you're drinking too much. Let us send a private jet and take you to a nice rehab place. Where'd they get that power? Where'd that come from? That's kind of more like big corporatocracy sort of talk, isn't it? And I'm sorry this is happening. I just need to, give you the spiritual significance. Spiritually, TPUSA is dead. And then people are damn mad about it. And what they want to do is persecute anybody that has a different point of view, that's not going to go along with the sort of Kash Patel single gun shooter and sort of lazy way of doing, that are looking at all this evidence, including evidence of potential betrayers, Candace Owens evidence, other evidence. And I'm not saying that all these people are all accurate. I'm saying a composite of the accurate stuff from several researchers are pointing to a conspiracy that is, basically, the take being Charlie Kirk is Truman. The best take for Charlie is Charlie Kirk is Truman on the Truman Show. And all the connivers are all the people that work there behind his back, not wanting to break it off with Israel, not wanting to break it off with that flow of money with the Jewish donors. And it's all about money. They want money. They got a lot of money. They want more. They're all millionaires. They want more. Took a look at Charlie Kirk's house, and my God, that's a mansion. That's incredible for a young man that age to have something like that. Amazing achievement. I don't know how many rooms and pool, and I don't whatever it has. It's massive. It's like many of the fine homes around the world. It would be right up there with it. I mean, a tremendous amount of money it's worth, or was his net worth. And so that's so there's, I kind of fall on the side of the Bible for truth, not Alex Jones. And so I understand why Alex is doing it. He wants to keep Trump in office, keep the Trump train going, win. Yeah, I guess left versus right is his deal. Okay. He wants the right to win over the left. And he wants to have a future for his children. And he wants to have capitalism. And he wants to be able to, win the war against the deep state, admittedly a leftist, globalist, one world government, outfit, and in order to preserve it, he has to shut off all this talk about Erika Kirk. And I mean, there was a caller called in, I heard it. Now, mind you, I'm not an avid listener. I listen, Trish will be listening, I'll listen in, and I usually, with InfoWars, I listen for a while, and then I move on. I'm not a real expert in InfoWars. So this side of Alex Jones, I don't think I've not seen this one before. This was a side that was so obvious and so huge. I thought, well, there must be people talking about this from yesterday's show. There must be people talking about the fact that he was defending this TPUSA without, see, usually you got to understand where I'm coming from here. Usually he likes to put out all this evidence and say, I knew it was happening long before you ever did. I got all, because I read their books. I have all the evidence right here. We tell you what's going to happen before it happens. And now he's doing the reverse. He's saying, shut up. Quit and how wonderful Erika Kirk is, and how the idea of a honeypot is just preposterous, or a CIA, preposterous. Any of those connections, preposterous. And we're seeing more and more evidence, and where I think Alex is compromised, and I believe where he's compromised is that he knows all about Epstein, deep state, and a lot of stuff that he doesn't talk about. But not that there are ties there that he's doing anything particularly, but that he knows things that he may not be, forthcoming. Just a guess. just a guess. Because Trump wants the same thing that he did with Epstein. Trump quashed it. And when Charlie Kirk was being assassinated, they passed the legislation to quash Epstein and the release of the files in Congress. And so that's part of the ritual, you see. And I just feel bad for people, you know, that you know, powerful radio hosts and politicians and whatnot would just, you know, pretend to be the white knights and being being up to their eyeballs in the chicanery as much as anyone else. And of course, we should expect that, being human beings. TPUSA, and then, you know, this woman calls up and she's like, you know, I saw this video, and she was fairly convinced by the video, obviously, and wants to know if that's one of Charlie's right-hand men or one of the executives there. You know, what did Alex think about it? And he said, I know acting when I see it. It just quashed it. No investigation, none of the stuff he usually does. Just authoritarian. But no, don't you go there. All these people are going there. They're all stupid. They're all idiots. I know what's happening. Listen to me. So that's I don't think I'll be listening again to that channel ever. You know, that's just outright lying. And I don't know, maybe I'm just very sensitive and I catch stuff like this, but I don't like somebody telling me to stop looking into something that's I've already solved it. You don't need to look into it. I will tell you what it means. When people talk down to me like that, I get really mad. Okay, I get really mad. I think the Charlie Kirk case, which is, look at that as the bigger ritual. The other thing is, Joan used to talk about, you know, the occult and occultic rituals and the you know, human sacrifice and the, you know, the revelation of the method, Golden Dawn stuff, Aleister Crowley, all that, you know, all that's gone from the discussion now, which is ridiculous, which is completely ridiculous, since that the ritual they had, the memorial they had, was simply mocking. Now, I want you guys to note some things out there. Note how mean the Christian, the so-called, you know, TPUSA Christians are. How fucking mean, unbelievably mean, intolerant, unloving, totally judgmental they are when anybody brings up a doubt about Erika Kirk. They go nuts, like they want to, you know, crucify you. I mean, it's just, it's amazing that spirit of hatred that they decry is coming from the outside, from Satan. We have to defend. And in defending, they slander and lie and hurt and abuse anybody that has anything to say that's contrary to the narrative, which hasn't even been formed yet. There is no narrative yet. Hello? There's no narrative yet, but they want you to adhere to something that's like a narrative. TPUSA all the way. My country, right or wrong. Anyone that has anything else to say about it, you can go ahead and leave. And that's how you know somebody is lying. So these people are all lying, and you know, the researchers and the people that have doubts and the ones calling her a, you know, honeypot or, you know, MK Ultra or whatever they're doing, with all the suspicions, they're not wrong. What should happen is, if these people really were Christians, which I fucking doubt, at least they're not like me, we won't be having Thanksgiving dinner. There'll be no hugs. There'll be no acceptance of me, because they have no discernment. If they have no discernment, then, as Jesus said, corrupt fruit from a corrupt tree. That's the Charlie Kirk case. In the end, it was a corrupt tree. TPUSA was a corrupt tree that the politicians and the globalists that wanted a sort of a capitalist New World Order golden dawn type of thing, golden age, seized to get control of, to change the youth. In other words, to do the same thing that the communists did in infiltrating the universities and use this as the battering ram to finally get the hearts and minds of the majority on their side so they could, keep this thing going. After Trump, someone like Trump, J.D. Vance, I guess, I don't know. It's very similar to Paul Wolfowitz and his New American Century. Okay. So, and again, I can tell by just how mean these people are. It's just, they're so fucking mean. They're just, again, they're murderous in their, in their demeanor. Oh, shut up. No, that's all photoshopped. That's all fake. Quit coming in here and trying to ruin TPUSA. And if it can't stand up to an investigation, then it shouldn't be standing at all. Period. Anything God wants to be here will stand up to investigation. So, I find it interesting. I find it weird that I'm on this side of the equation, and here's the other interesting thing. I'm looking to the left. Hey, where are the lefties? Where? Hey, where are you guys? There's no lefties. What? No lefties are involved in this Charlie Kirk thing. It's just all, conservative Christians, I guess, just bludgeoning each other to protect the reputation of Mrs. Kirk and her money-grubbing ways, or TPUSA, and their incredible. The reason these big, powerful leaders are so concerned is because they've sunk billions into this thing. The reason they can go, you can't go up against the NFL with a big organization. You don't have the money to do that. Where do they get the money to go challenge the NFL at halftime? Think about what that costs. And they want to have the alternative. They'd like to have the alternative go the entire football game. And I think that is an absolute, reveal that it's all about money with these people and that they are corrupt. If they were really earnest, they would be competing in the marketplace to be, replacing what they don't like or trying to get commercials into the Super Bowl or whatever, trying to make their influence known. They wouldn't be having an alternative. That's a very decadent thing to do. And again, the left won't touch it. Won't touch it. Even though it's all like anti-Trump stuff and anti-Charlie and all that, they won't touch it. I know they do what they're told, and they have been told to stand down. Why do you think that is? Because this goes beyond politics. This is a ritual. You're in the middle of some sort of Masonic Babylonian kind of ritual, and it hasn't ended yet. Who knows what the kicker is at the end? And I know that my words will probably reach only a few people, but better to have said it, at least be on record as saying it. I'm not taking back anything I've said. I agreed that what I've said is speculation. Agreed, a lot of things I've speculated I don't have proof of. So I'm just giving my opinion, which is legal, based on circumstantial evidence, based on eyewitness testimony, my own, based on seeing the tapes over and over again, based on seeing the guy that disguised his voice, based on Candace Owens' research, based on others research. There's Nino, and there's a bunch of people that are they're just like, we're all like a dog with a bone. We can't let it go, and we can't let it go because you see, it reaches the highest levels in the world. The highest, it goes to the very top of Israel, to Netanyahu. It goes to the very top of finance in America. That's Donald Trump. It goes to Epstein. It goes to giving money so you can get control of an organization and then, make it about money rather than God, which is definitely what TPUSA is all about. And so my suggestion is, when these people are mean to you, I've noticed that a lot of you, you're being really, very, very Christian. You're being kind. You're not shouting back at them. But I mean, I had Trish the other day, an old friend comes up to her and goes, "Look, if you can't find something nice to say, just shut up," using the word shut up. Now, that's coming from a Christian. That just sounds weird, that kind of thing. And she didn't know what to say or respond because we'd never seen that aspect of this woman before. I know her as well. We've never seen that side of her, that really mean, like off with their heads side. And I mean, these are violent people. And they're going to defend that there's nothing there. And it's going to be like with Alex Jones when he handled Epstein, and when he's taken the president's side, and obviously the president is compromised and, probably hundreds of ways we'll never know. But I mean, the Golden Dawn is my inside laugh. Golden Dawn or Zion Dawn or whatever. Because it's just so obvious that the big money in the world that wants to push back against what we should all want to push back against is corrupt, is a murderer and a liar. Now, with respect to World War III, Venezuela, part of this has to do with securing the oil, not getting Maduro for importing drugs, but oil, because World War III is going to take a lot of oil. So in order to stay in control, Trump needs oil sources to really mount the big war, So they're all, I mean, the Marines were celebrating the 250th anniversary at Camp Pendleton, and they were firing missiles and shooting down planes and all kinds of things over the 405 freeway. Or whatever it is, the 5, I guess, or the 405. And they halted traffic. And people that got the footage on their phones, it's like it's in your backyard, a plane getting shot down. And, duck, you could get hurt. A display we've never seen before. Gavin Newsom flipped out because the military said, "Look, you little bitch, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want to do. And, you can protest all you want. You just look weaker and weaker." Okay? So the reason that they want us to shut up is because Trump is going to deliver what we want. Freedom, supposedly. And not, it's got, the left is not involved because it doesn't have anything to do with entitlements. This has got nothing to do with anything. Plus, the left has no voice. I mean, they've basically have shot their wad. They have no voice. But the left and the right are controlled by the same people. Okay, the same money. So they told the left to stand down. You don't hear them getting involved in these Charlie Kirk thing. It's like, well, if these Christian nationalists want to destroy each other, let them. And so it's all orchestrated. It's all part of the ritual. And whose guess is it out there? where this is leading to. Venezuela is part of it. I've never seen an armada of ships like that since I don't know when. I mean, World War II footage. It's insane the amount of firepower that's been sent to Venezuela. And I'm glad we get to talk about it. But as I said, Venezuela, what do they have? What's their biggest resource? No, don't look at humanitarian stuff. What's their biggest resource? Oil. And what do you need to run your ships and planes and oil? So if this war ramps up against China and Russia, where we would be vulnerable here at home, which looks like it will be that. And we don't have much time, I don't think, because this is the boats are in the water, and Trump will probably have to attack or be attacked or do something before Congress meets this week for the purpose of quashing Trump's ability to land on Venezuelan soil. So that has to be, well, Trump's going to do whatever he's going to do anyway. But I mean, the fact is we're already engaged in Venezuelan soil. We already have night missions going there, helicopter missions going in at middle of the night, taking people out. So Maduro has a $50 million bounty on his head. Okay? So just so you know, this is World War III opening up. And we already, everyone knows we're in World War III, so you don't need to announce it. But it can be very, you can get killed in this. Certainly you can have an EMP, the power can go out, the resources cut off, food cut off, starving people, all that. That can all happen. It's interesting watching. Oh, and at the same time, we have a government shutdown. And this seems to be all part of the pattern of a complete disconnect, a reawakening, the reset button, if you will. The table is being reset on trade, on peace, on the cost of goods, on war and peace. The reset button is being hit on everything because it's plying the way to the phoenix, which I believe is the key to this whole thing. It's the phoenix rising. And the phoenix rising would be the golden age. Would be a new golden age. It would be not unlike Tartaria, right? The legends of Tartaria. And I think that's what all this is about. So just shut your mouth. Quit focusing on Charlie Kirk. Quit focusing on Charlie Kirk. Quit trying to make this the issue, because you need to come into alignment so we can accomplish the goal of freedom for the world and, more freedom for you little people, so you can have houses and businesses and share in the golden age in some way. Otherwise, it'll just be us billionaires. And so, yada, 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 yada. No, you've heard it all before. So, fuck. What a conundrum we're in, huh? What a conundrum we're in. And I find that the greatest threat to freedom in the world is stupidity and the complacency of people in America who are not defending, they don't realize the danger they're in. I think that's what it really is. And not just stupidity, being stupid. And, I'm not saying that they're just stupid in everything. I'm just saying they're dumb on these issues. And it's because they've been taught not to, that's all conspiracy theory and not to look into it. They've been told, like by powerful radio guys like Alex Jones, are very influential, stand down, there's nothing to look at here. And if there is, I'll tell you what it is. You don't need to think I'll tell you how. I will think for you, okay? And that is a no-no with me. When people start getting that arrogant around me, I tend to back off. I'm a peaceful person. I'm not going to fight it. But I'm not going to drink from the well of someone telling me to stop thinking and just listen to what they say. And, there's no other thing. Like here, I tell you this, believe everything you want to believe. I'm just riffing on all this stuff the way I do. And various people think I'm very accurate, in hindsight, looking back over things that I have riffed about. I tend to have a prescient, forward-looking, clairvoyant thing going on that seems to pick up on a lot of these details. But I mean, that's not my main job. That's not my main pursuit in life. I'm not trying to give you a heads up so you can start running for the gate. Run for the gate. Go, Truman, go. No, because I happen to be a member of the club that believes there is no way out but Jesus. No way out but Jesus. 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 Here you go, in case you didn't hear me. Jesus. And that's what I'm going to put my faith and trust in like I do every day. And I'm at peace now. I've had some great prayer last couple of days. And it just realigns me to put my faith and hope in the Lord. And if I get dealt a hand of, end of the world or whatever, it's just the way it is. If it goes nuclear, c'est la vie. I'm not going to be bitter about it. I'm not going to complain about it. Okay, well, that's about all for now. I've last word. I don't believe they will get to the bottom of Charlie Kirk, just the same way they didn't get to the bottom of Kennedy. And I believe that they will install Erika anyway as the Queen of Babylon and, Don King, Donald Trump King, the king. Don is the king. He's the king of another realm, of an occultic realm. He's the king. I didn't know that about him when we started. He seemed like he was an outsider. And then I quickly learned that, he's got, deep ties. And they would have never let him build the New York skyline if he didn't have some connection. Don't think so. So, yeah, I wish I had better news. I'd say find something fun to do today or find fun in what you're doing. Maybe whistle while you work. Oh boy, that got him going. So, and I'll see you next time.
From the start they were apart, from their outposts of power, gained from the destruction of innocence. They're the ones who gave us war. They're the ones who gave us trauma. The ones who gave us thought control. They're the ones who feed and sacrifice to their gods in need. They're in control, not to be undone, to modify the DNA of human into the prison that steals souls to dream. space and time, man can become one of them through free will. Through free will, they speak in riddles. I connected to all circles of bloody ritual in everyday lives. They recycle their just to reclaim them imprisonment, seals of eternity in contact with all the gods. They lose. They lose. They lose. Reception.